welcome back to 9 Years in China and Beyond. Hope you've been doing okay. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, or I'll come hunt you down in the dark and put big worms in your bed. Today, guys, I thought I'd talk about some current news. The big thing going on right now over in China is they are mad as hell at Japan. What's new? This Fukushima nuclear wastewater thing is making China go crazy. And it's perfect timing for Xi Jinping. Takes a little weight off of his shoulders because of all this economic problems that's going on right now in China. And it's bad. You know, that's another video to talk about. But between the flooding, which is continuing, I just heard about more stuff was going on in Hubei province again, and they're already decimated. But this Fukushima deal, you know, I feel bad about it even happening, but every place that has nuclear power plants, they have to deal with this. Every place, all right? And a few days ago, when they started releasing all this wastewater, you know, and it's a controlled release. I mean, we know that it's supposed to be safe. It's been tested. It's way below the standards set by these nuclear regulatory people. But my students started sending me these little videos and little snippets of video out of China that normally they probably wouldn't do. And so I knew it's propaganda. You know, when you see lots of stuff invading the internet, as long as it favors the CCP, it favors what's going on in China, they're going to let it run. And China has no reason to do Japan any favors anyhow because of the past, and we'll touch on that here in just a second. But it come at a perfect time, and my students were asking me questions, what I knew, what I didn't know, and they were wanting my opinion on this. And then I told them, I said, well, you know, the water's tested, it's supposed to be safe, you know, don't worry too much. But again, it's not a good thing. So anyhow, I noticed a lot of the snippets had English, and you know, they're like interviewing English-speaking people, which I knew that was propaganda immediately, because if it's made only for China, you wouldn't see them talking to foreigners. All right. See, China has a way to take advantage of all these little events. But let's step back in history, something I saw, and I'll kind of give you an idea how CCP works. I don't know what you do know or don't know, but, you know, there is no we the people in that kind of government. It's all about me, the leader, me, the government. But in I think it's 2013, maybe 2014, I can't remember exactly, but there was a little thing going on between China and Japan then. And I saw this with my own eyes. It coincided with a little holiday, so they were going to make my city, they were going to make it news. Okay, there's a protest of some kind that was going on, and people were going to be marching through the city, and I was, any day that I wasn't working, I was in the city anyhow, you know, walking around with my camera. But on this particular day, guys, I hadn't made it up to the big main city square yet where I was wanting to get some video. I was walking a few blocks away from there, and I saw these vans, these trucks, not big trucks, like, you know, just regular like Econoline vans and some big cars, and they pulled up on the side of the road. You know, remember, there's a lot of people already going through, and they started passing out little Chinese flags to wear, or to, you know, to wave around. And I said, oh man, this is going to become a mess if they let it, if they run with it. and the people were running over and grabbing the little flags, and I could hear them. I could hear them cursing a little bit about Japan. My Chinese is good enough that I could make out a little bit of what was being said. I'm watching this with my own eyes. Okay, they are staging a protest. They are staging the news behind the scenes. And a little bit later, I got to get up where I could get some video, and I cannot find that video clip. I know I got it somewhere on a USB, but I got them walking by, and by the time I got up there, a lot of the flags wavers had already gone by, but it was a huge crowd, and they were going right through the middle of the business district in town. And so, and I understand that China has a reason not to like Japan, the government, especially because of what went on in the 30s. You know, in the late 30s, they had that invasion. They had the Nanjing massacre, and I've been to Nanjing many times, and I've been to that Nanjing massacre memorial place. It's gigantic, and it's well worth going to visit, even though it can be a little disturbing, some of the photos and things, but it's really, really good. It's worth a visit if you ever go to China. But now, you know, they have all this history between them, and like I said, China looks for the perfect opportunities to poke a finger at Japan whenever they can. So we boom back up here. Let's go move back up to today a little bit. Like I said, my students are asking me about this, and I said, well, I'll do a little investigating, and I haven't told them what they want to hear, because I knew every nuclear power plant there was has to deal with these problems. You know, you got to have cooling water, you got to have wastewater, it's got to have a place to go. And sure enough, I found statistics going, I think, up to 2021. I haven't seen anything newer, but it showed enough. And, you know, Japan is letting out this small amount of wastewater that's well below the standards that have been accepted. Then on this other hand over here, Russia was the biggest culprit in this thing I was looking at. Russia doesn't really care what it pumps into the ocean. It doesn't look like. But all 13 of China's big nuclear sites are letting out easily 4 or 5 times more volatile, toxic wastewater than Fukushima is. And they let out a lot more of it. So again, China doesn't want their citizens to know about this. They just want people to focus on Japan. They want them to hate Japan, when over here their own nuclear plants are probably killing, if they're killing fish, if they're contaminating, food, China is way more responsible about it than Japan is. China's pumping it out, guys. But the problems involve everybody, and that's where this comes. India, South Korea, America, we all have to let this water out. Now, we have a standard to go by, and I'm sure, without a doubt, that America is following these standards. I don't know about the rest of the world, but I know we're pretty conscious about such things here. But over there, guys, they're hating Japan, and it's really volatile right now because the Chinese people, they have a strong sense of nationalism, and they should. You should love your country, but it's a communist country, and you can't believe everything you're told, period, is what it is. Then these supermarkets are being rushed. Everybody's trying to buy all the salt that they can, which is hilarious because don't they know 90% of the salt comes out of the ground? That doesn't come out of the ocean. And what they do get from the ocean is expensive. Chinese people don't like to spend money they don't have to. Nobody does. So you got this. Then they're trying to basically halt the consumption of fresh Japanese seafood. You know, what do? You know, China has many hundreds of Japanese restaurants, but a lot of them are, their product is caught closer to China than it is to Japan. Well, my thought right now, from the facts and figures that I saw yesterday looking at this, maybe that Japanese food might be a little bit safer. I don't know. So yeah, there's a lot going on over there, and right now it's just a good distraction for Xi Jinping to get the people's mind off the economic problems and the flooding and stuff. But anyhow, thought I'd feed a little bit of this to you. It's current, it's in the news, it's trending. Take some time to read about it. It's interesting at the very least. So, but you have a great day, and be careful what you eat. Take care, guys. We'll see you later. So, bye-bye.